What if the very thing that makes some entrepreneurs so brilliant is also their biggest challenge? Today, we're going to dive into the really powerful and kind of paradoxical link between ADHD and that relentless drive to build something from nothing.
So, what's the secret sauce? What's the one thing that connects so many of the world's top innovators? Is it just pure talent? Is it some kind of unstoppable ambition? Or could it be something else? Something that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time?
Well, here's the wild part. This common thread, it isn't some celebrated virtue. Nope. For decades, it's been looked at almost exclusively as a problem. A deficit, something that needs to be managed or fixed.
Yup, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But the connection here is not simple at all. It is a genuine paradox where the greatest strengths are tangled up with the biggest risks. So let's really break down this double-edged sword.
And that gets us right to the heart of what we're talking about today, the entrepreneur's paradox. The very same brain wiring that can launch a visionary company into orbit can also be the thing that threatens to bring it crashing down.
And listen, this isn't just a theory. The data actually backs this up in a big way. A huge meta-analysis of 47 different studies found this really fascinating pattern. Okay, so look at this. Hyperactivity and impulsivity. Turns out they're a massive plus for getting a business off the ground. But later on, their effect is pretty much neutral. Meanwhile, inattention starts out as a non-issue, but after you've launched, whoa, it becomes a huge negative. The key takeaway here is pretty clear. What helps you start isn't always what helps you grow.
Okay, so let's zoom in on that first phase, the launch. Because in that chaotic, high-energy, anything-is-possible world of a startup, certain ADHD traits aren't just helpful, they can feel like a straight-up superpower.
Just picture this. While everybody else is stuck thinking inside the box, the ADHD brain is over here making these incredible, unexpected leaps, connecting ideas that nobody else saw were related. This is where real, game-changing innovation is born.
But of course, there's always a flip side of that coin, right? That same rapid-fire thinking has a shadow, impulsivity. And that can lead to chasing every shiny new object or making snap judgments that end up creating some serious long-term problems. And then you've got the incredible power of hyperfocus. When an entrepreneur with ADHD gets passionate about an idea, they can lock in with an intensity that is just off the charts. We're talking about massive bursts of productivity, getting weeks of work done in just a few days.
But remember what that research said? Inattention is the real hidden danger here. It's like the shadow of hyperfocus. While you're locked onto that grand vision, the critical little details in contracts, in the financials, and day-to-day operations, they can just slip right through the cracks, planting the seeds for trouble down the road.
And all of this is what can lead to something a lot of high achievers experience, a sudden and totally baffling crash. After years of just incredible success, they suddenly find themselves completely overwhelmed, unable to function. This isn't just burnout, folks. This is a scaffolding collapse.
Okay, scaffolding is the absolute key to understanding this whole thing. It's basically the entire invisible support system that has allowed a person to crush it in spite of their ADHD challenges. We're talking about the super-organized partner, the dedicated assistant, the rigid daily routines. When that scaffolding is there, everything just works. When it's gone, the whole structure falls apart.
And the bigger and more complex your life gets, the stronger that scaffolding has to be. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't use the same setup to build a little bungalow as you would to build a skyscraper like the Shard, right? And here's the crucial insight. A lot of high achievers have been building a Shard-level life on bungalow-level scaffolding, just held together by sheer force of will.
So what does this actually look like in real life? Let's talk about a classic character we all probably know, the visionary entrepreneur. They are a classic innovator, just thriving on that creative chaos of a startup, building an amazing company from scratch.
Their scaffolding is just massive. A team of assistants who seem to read their mind, a CFO who handles all the boring but vital details, and a partner who runs their entire home life. Then, the collapse starts. A key personal assistant leaves. The business grows up, and it shifts from exciting new ideas to tedious quarterly reports, which is basically starving their brain of novelty. Then life stressors pile on. A sick parent, a new baby, a move, and suddenly, the systems that once worked are just gone. The underlying unmanaged ADHD is totally exposed. They're dropping balls everywhere, not because they lost their talent, but because their entire support structure has just vanished.
So, if the scaffolding comes crashing down, what do? How do you rebuild? Well, the key isn't to just try harder. It's to build smarter. It's about moving from those accidental, invisible supports to intentional, sustainable systems. So let's open up the toolkit.
All right, tool number 1, and maybe the most powerful of all, is to externalize your brain. As leader Kim Lord says here, you have to schedule everything. Thinking time, follow-up time, travel time, you name it. If it's not on the calendar, it pretty much doesn't exist. This is your ultimate weapon against that out-of-sight, out-of-mind trap.
And structure, oh man, structure is your absolute best friend. You won't believe what a simple 15-minute routine can do to anchor your entire day. 1. Look at your task list and prioritize. 2. Scan your calendar for open work blocks. 3. Plug your most important tasks into those blocks. 4. Fire off some quick updates to your team. And 5. Get that inbox down to 0. This simple framework stops the overwhelm before the day's chaos can even get started.
Okay, now for a really fascinating and seriously effective strategy. It's called body doubling. It's as simple as it sounds. You just have another person that can be there physically or even virtually present while you work on something that's difficult or boring. Their quiet presence acts like a physical anchor for your attention. It creates this gentle accountability that makes it so much easier to stay on task and finally beat procrastination.
And you know, all of these tools lead to the single most important mindset shift. The goal here isn't perfection, it's persistence. An ADHD brain isn't broken, it just works differently. You are going to get distracted. The key is to just accept that and then build protocols to get yourself back on track quickly, without any shame. Productivity isn't about never falling off the horse, it's all about how gracefully you get back on.
So, after all this, after seeing the paradox, the collapse, and the toolkit, how should we really be thinking about the ADHD brain in the world of entrepreneurship?
Here's the bottom line, the biggest takeaway from all of this. ADHD traits aren't inherently good or bad. It is all about the context. The same hyperactivity that fuels a brilliant launch can become a liability without the right systems in place. The point isn't to fix the person, it's to engineer the environment for their success. Understanding that duality is everything.
And that leaves us with one last, and I think really crucial question to chew on. Instead of asking how to change the neurodiverse brain, what if we started asking how we can build better, more intentional scaffolding to support it? What new heights of innovation, what incredible entrepreneurial genius could we unlock if we really learned to support these unique minds, not just at the launch, but for the entire journey?